Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Park and Rec Commission meeting for Monday, September 11th, 2023. We do have a quorum. We do have one of our other commissioners coming in a few minutes late, so we will start the meeting and then just improving when he gets here. Looking at the agenda, we'll go right by the numbers. The first item we have up is an open forum for public comment. Screening around the room, I don't see anybody. Is there anybody in the chat rooms or anything?
There's not.
Fantastic. Well, that's one off the list. Meeting guests, again, scanning through the room, don't see anybody, don't hear anybody. Last meeting, we were supposed to have the new athletic director and the assistant
Yeah, we're
director.
trying to schedule a couple people, so I've been holding that, so that if they end up last minute being involved, we don't have to adjust the agenda. Perfect.
All right, cranking through two of these here. Third one, chairs updates. As normal, I usually just kind of update things throughout the whole agenda. There's really nothing glaring at this time that I need to address at the beginning. So we'll kind of jump right into the director's report and hand it over to Stacy and Hannah.
All right, programs are, we started registration on August 29th, I believe. We did typically noon for internet, and then we do 9 AM for our senior programs, because we have some lovely folks that come in the morning and register. And that has been open, it's been ongoing. We haven't done a lot of promotion, we've been pushing some events, but now that our fall events are gonna come up sort of next month, then we'll be pushing more of those events. Townwide cleanup will be this month. And then we have a few new programs. So Puzzle League is a league where it's one night. You have a team and each team tries to finish the puzzle first. They all get the same puzzle.
I love that.
Yep, really, yeah, very, very cool event. The other new one is Youth Art Box, who will be taught by our new assistant director. Would you like to explain what Art Box is?
It's just 3 different types of rock art. So simply painting the rock, then we're gonna do canvas art, and then we're gonna do, the last one's gonna be 2 inspirational, where you keep one and you give one.
Wow. That sounds great.
So it'll be one night. For winter break, we already have set up Minds in Motion, our Appreciate the Band program, and then our programs, Winter Days, which already has a decent amount of people, but not. But you know, that is 3 months away, 3 days beforehand, we'll get all the registrations. Feels
Can I ask one thing? In regards to the fall townwide cleanup, that is something we've also sent out to like the sports groups, or is that just in the spring?
we send it out to everybody. We do it in the spring and the fall. We do have some registrations. I did these numbers last week, so they probably went up over the weekend.
Is that the numbers next, like 14, that's how many registered?
Groups.
Groups.
14 groups.
That group could be as small as 7, as large as 70.
Okay.
How many large groups?
We do, Needham Soccer is sending out a big group of like 6 people.
Sign up.
You can sign up right on our Needham programs.com.
Ah,
Fantastic.
So what we do is Friday afternoon and then Saturday morning from 9 to 12, you can swing by and pick up bags and gloves and pickers if you would like. And then you have the whole weekend to decide when you want to go. You get to, if you want to choose the spot, great. If you are like, where's the best spot to go? We try to like move people around all over town. Some people are like, no, I really want to do this. There's never not enough trash to pick up to send more than one group. And we do have actually quite a few businesses in the area that are coming in. We have a temple from Wellesley that are sending about 20 or 30 people out to clean up some areas as part of their community give back. So that's what's going on.
so if we go to the Park and Rec, the fall brochure, that's how somebody can sign up for that.
You go to needhamprograms.com and then it'll be right in there.
Can we also make sure that we have 911 on standby for the pumpkin decorating?
It's decorating, it's not carving.
Oh, it's not okay. Not-
It was only carving 1 year, and that it was painting right after that.
Mhm.
Actually, that's a fun event. It's super, like the kids come down, we have it down on the sort of deck.
Mhm.
Because kids paint with a lot of paint. So the parents can't even take them home because they're just dripping. And then Spooky Walk will be on the 28th. Chris will be reaching out to our businesses in town, and this year.
We were hoping to possibly have a commission meeting with your support, so.
So we're inviting businesses from like the Highlands and, you know, down Highland Ave, sort of anywhere past St. Joe's, past the mobile, past the police station. Past Greens, there's many, but to put up tables in the town common so that they can, too, can be involved in programs. So we're gonna reach out, select board did it last year, we're gonna ask if you guys wanna do it, and then we're gonna ask some of our pool and camp staff as well to do it, so the kids can see their counselors and their lifeguards. And it's-
What day of the week,
20
Shelley?
It's this
Oh.
Spooky Walk is on the 20th, which is a Saturday.
Okay.
I am not in town.
I'm in,
Otherwise, I would-
I'll do it.
It's like 10:45 is the first group. Last year we had over 500 kids. Right there.
I love it. I'm
They
in.
just walk around in their costumes and get
That's
a
so
lot of candy.
Do I have to dress up?
Yeah, what's the?
Can I dress up?
Or we give up candy?
And then it's like a two, like one.
I don't think there.
Yeah, we have two groups. We have a 10:30 and a noon. Ish.
Maybe Shell might do that too. Oh, you might have to do that.
You play.
But you're also welcome to attend the pumpkin decorating or swing by the gingerbread house decorating, which is also hilarious, watching the kids just spoon frosting right into their mouths.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Those are the stand up. Those are
That's
the-
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day Saturday event at my house.
But yeah, any other questions on programs or events?
No, that's great. Put it in right on the calendar. Spooky Walk.
I had one quick question on the program, so it shows that we have used flag football. Does it, so we do that?
So we run a program that's like
Just lovely.
just very low key, fun, very fundamentals. It tends to be the younger kids.
It's also during the week, right?
It's during the week
Yeah,
after
it's like
school,
one day.
over at Mills, yeah, and it's just like is your kid interested in this before you go out? It has been successful, we get about 8 to 10 kids, so it's not like a huge group, and then 90% of them end up
Mhm.
going to the flag football.
Yeah.
fields. But yeah, it's something very simple.
Do you need any equipment donated to that program at all or no?
They are fully stocked,
Okay.
it's a vendor program, so
Perfect.
they come in with everything.
Okay.
Fields and facilities, Devin was here vacuuming in the pool today.
Oh, really?
Getting it prepped. The Weston and Sampson will be here tomorrow to start putting the covers on,
Oh,
lowering the water, and getting ready for the closing of this pool, which is exciting because then I don't have to worry about, you know, floods, acorns.
Yes.
You know. This is the last year of our 3-year bid, so we will have to go back out to bid for this. I suspect the same people will bid on it. So,
Would you say out of the contract that we had for the 3 years, it was the wise thing to do? Just having a maintenance program and having them on call to take care of the things that we used to rely on the town to do, the DPW to just have it work a lot smoother. Okay,
so Weston and Sampson isn't always the best, but, a couple of the guys that regularly respond are the people that basically built this pool.
They do.
yep,
Jimmy is almost always the one, and so, he'll come out on the way home from something, on the way to something, if Devin needs them, or something like that.
What's the timing on that, going into bid, and when is our contract up, is it for the opening next year that we need to have? in the
Yeah,
contract?
so we will start on that process. Probably after we finish the bid documents for the feasibility study for the action sports park, that will be the next thing that we work on. It will be, I would imagine we'll set it up similar, year 1 is this, year 2, thinking in our heads that it's really 6, 7, and 8, not 1, 2, 3. So any of the things that might go wrong. This year we were knock on wood, we didn't have very many service interruptions. We didn't have to close down for any mechanical issues. We did have backups of things finally this year, and that was very helpful. We did swap out a filter at one point. And that was good.
Do we have, I'm sorry.
Okay, keep on asking.
Do we have many things, do you know, that are carrying over that we didn't get to, as I recall, when we entered into that contract, we had Like a prioritization, right, so priority 1, 2, and 3, or something we just pushed off because they were too expensive.
We have been caught up, so the welding on the. Side drains have been done, they were done this spring. Some of the sticker changes, which you would think we would be able to do, they're much more involved than I ever thought they'd be. But we're pretty much caught up on all the things, other than we have to figure out something with the help of DPW for the client.
Right, right, those 100 years for one was becoming every.
Every other month.
And, Karis did, the DPW director did mention that I'm not allowed to go to Bar Harbor anymore, because all 3 times it has flooded, I have been in Bar
Oh,
Harbor
that's crazy.
ever since.
In any, with cracking is a huge.
Oh, yes, the
Huge
beginning,
issue
originally
at
around
the
the deck.
beginning that we were concerned
We do
about.
have some cracking, we do have some fixes on the far wall,
Mhm.
and we did do some temporary fixes. KCAP had some group, worked with the engineers, because it wasn't supposed to crack, so we do have some fixes to do early spring next year. But we do have a semi-permanent in place, so it's staying. We have no issues.
I know we're not engineers here and haven't built pools, but would you say these are ordinary cracks just after certain usage of the pool, the years, and it's just settling into the ground, or this, okay?
From what I understand, for the fence posts. So the poles go into the cement, but the cement. The water's getting into the poles. So it's getting down into the poles, and so it thaws and freezes in the cement to the back, that's causing the crack. And because the cement walls are just so shallow. If they were like 6 inches wider. You wouldn't see as much crack, because then it would have give, but it doesn't have kind of give that it should.
Okay.
And so that is a design flaw, that's why Hank Haff, who was the head of. The PVPC still is the PV permanent public.
Yes.
So he stepped in to work with the architects and the engineers, and so we got a semi-permanent fix. It is safe, there's no concerns about children at all,
No, I think
but
about
eventually.
About the
Yes.
pool last, yeah.
Yeah, how long will it last? for?
And the pool itself, there's been no cracking, it's been all the sort of
Right.
improvements, yeah.
Yeah. And then, my last question, was any
No.
thoughts, about what we're gonna do with the sand, the beach area? Because I really talked about, we'd love to get rid of that.
Yeah, so we've talked with DPW about that will be a capital project, because it'll hit 50 grand very easily.
So that's a few years off.
Yep, the idea would be to remove the sand and either do a port in place like a playground or do some sort of turf.
Right.
With a shade structure over there.
Could we maybe even do like a decking type of area, like a. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options that they've been throwing around. What we
Fantastic.
want to avoid is anything that absorbs a lot of heat.
Yes,
Right, so turf doesn't sound.
Turf can be, this would not be the same kind of turf
Field turf.
with a field, it would be more like a turf over at Newman. Board in place can get equally as hot, but if you get with the right color range, you're okay, decking, I mean, the tiers
Sure.
get super hot anyway,
Right.
so.
Be nice to get rid of that sand. now.
But if you
Becomes
do
a-
get, we'll definitely put a sheet structure there.
no, good.
And so that's a project to be coming.
Mhm.
Yep.
You done?
I'm done.
You sure? Okay,
Well,
for now, or at least this question.
thank you.
Okay, next.
Meeting with Eric from Keep an Eye on Tennis and Track, they've done our track, they have done some of our in the street and working on a maintenance contract with them. To service the tennis courts, close them up, tell us what needs to be done before the beginning of next year, so that we are actually doing maintenance on a regular basis. With our current courts, obviously they will not touch the high school courts right now. Because those are under design and build. But we will have them look at those and.
Pollard is probably not gonna be on. The scope just because of what could be happening in Pollard in a few years, that we don't wanna put money into something that's probably gonna get ripped out. Okay.
Well, what could we have in tomorrow in a few years?
So if you do that,
Oh, they are?
so that would be like a staging area to redo.
Oh, wow.
They're looking to redo Paul again.
Yeah.
We, yeah, so, but I mean, that would be either a staging area or a home for part of the new school, who knows, but why put money into something that's just gonna get ripped out?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then we're doing playground maintenance and upgrades, some pads on the Broad Middle School hoops. Those are new safety pads that you see in the pictures.
Those are great.
And then next week, we're looking at September 25th for us to go around and replace the swings and chains on all of our playgrounds that need it.
Right,
Who's
so
this
doing
doing?
it, you have someone doing it.
Yep. We do.
Oh, boy.
And then, yeah,
That's why.
for the staff, senior staff will be doing that, and we're looking at the 25th because the kids will not be in school, so it'll be easier for us to get in on the playgrounds.
Oh, good.
And not affect any students. Capital projects, McLeod, we had a weekly meeting, they did not get me the updated project schedule, so as soon as I get that, I will send it on to you guys, but, we're making good progress, Chris went by there today. The pipes are all in. There's
Right.
still
That's
lots of
great.
things.
You thought those would be like a
Yeah.
10 day, 12 day, but they,
That's a lot.
It's-
What you'll start to see is they're gonna start building the field basically from the outside field in.
mhm.
So sports turf was there, Dennis. was
Are
there,
Yep.
started.
Okay.
Lights?
Yeah, those are
That's what I
those
thought, the
concrete
big
stanchions, yeah.
concrete, yeah.
Yeah, muscle lighting will be going in, so they're gonna start to move
So the outfield in,
outfield in. Yep.
Exciting.
that should be great.
The dugouts have been ordered. We have no idea, they are supposed to come in March. But just for those people that are concerned about opening on time for the season, we'll still be able to open even if the dugouts
Yep.
are delayed by any reason. We'll put up a permanent something. And according to Saldo, it takes about a day, because they come in
They're already pre-built, it's,
and
they're pre-fab.
on a crane,
Yeah.
up in, and then, so
Yep.
it would be a day, then we could get it done even during the season. So, if there is a delay, which,
Who knows?
exactly. The Claxton update is in your packet. I don't know if any of you have looked at it.
Yeah.
I have a meeting with Katie King tomorrow. We're gonna discuss,
That number was
pulling
staggering.
the group
Yeah.
back
But
together.
we knew it was gonna be
Yeah.
bigger.
And we
Because,
did ask them to give us a number that was. We weren't gonna go over it.
Inclusive.
Yeah.
mhm,
Like, we wanna know, we don't wanna be going back for more things.
No.
right, I mean. I think we'd all agree this is something that needs to be done.
We
Can't
said,
ignore it, and it's something that we're paying for things that happened years ago that were out of our control.
Yeah.
Well, a
it's-
lot of it is now required by
Yep,
DEP, so.
and this would be a heftier price tag if we ever had to close it down, and if we were talking about worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So it's a big bite, but it's not as big as it could have been.
True.
Pretty big.
Yeah,
DeFazio, we're still working on with our in-house vendor on the engineering documentation, before we then pair up with a playground vendor for the design. We do have lots of people interested in that working group. I think it's up to about 8 people. That's a rough packet. Once that bid goes out, once we have something to start with, I'll start that working group and let you guys know when it started.
Mhm.
Tennis courts, our next meeting is tomorrow with Activitas, they'll be here, just going over they are due to show the first stab at renderings.
really.
Wow.
What time was that meeting?
Something, 11?
It's between the hours of, say, 8 AM and 5 PM.
Something 8 to.
8 and 2.
So when is that work expected to begin? Is that next spring?
We'll see,
We're in
go by the
design,
schedule,
right?
we're in design,
Design.
so we would have to get the final numbers. If we're going down the CPC route, we would have to submit it by December
Yeah.
of this year.
Do you
Have it
think
go
we'll
to
make it
town
by
meeting,
December?
say what?
Do you think it'll make it by December of this year?
So we were promised a budget number by October, because even if it does go to CPC, it has to be submitted to the town.
Yeah.
council.
Right.
So we will have a budget number, it won't be exact, but it will be a budget number to submit. By that time, and then ideally, we would have it more tied up by the time we went to CPC and then voted on at springtime.
Awesome.
And then funds be available July 1st of 2024. And then that's something that can be done throughout the summer and be ready for technically the fall of 2024.
If they can mobilize that quickly, what we're finding is a lot of contractors will not purchase things ahead of time until. Because it will have to go up to bid,
Paperwork,
you have to wait,
documents.
and then depending on. Lead time on any of these structures, the big one always being fencing.
Mhm.
Will be whether or not that hits,
So that would be
Summer.
the most, that would be a very optimistic.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, if everything goes right,
that would be ideal, but it does depend on.
timing of others,
And-
okay.
So the spring plan, just curious for high school. Tennis, cause do the girls play in the spring or no?
They both.
They both do.
They will play in the spring, that it'll be the same as what it was this past.
It'll be-
Yeah, JV goes to Newman, varsity goes to the men's.
Yeah, okay. Somebody was asking now.
And then the active rec group, I talked to Tyler at DPW, he's got the broad strokes for the bid specs and needs some help for the sort of finesse of what Park and Rec is looking for, so we're gonna meet, next week, after I get back from the conference, to work finish up those bid documents.
Call them strange, I've been actually taking pictures of skate parks when I'm at other like communities and towns, just some ideas to be like. Because honestly, if you were to ask me to draw up what a skate park looks like, it's probably gonna be the most boring skate park I could ever draw up. So it's good to see, so if anybody is out there and other, I know you travel to other towns. Take a picture of a skate park, just to kind of see, have an idea of what we could and what.
There's
is
a really
possible.
good one, is it Dorchester, Jamaica Plain?
Mhm.
Yeah, Dorchester, it's a really good one.
There's one that was just finished, or is almost finished in Worcester, they were actually, Cataldo was talking about it, because they were involved in that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I drove by there.
And it's one of the, it's really good, so, we may take a swing out there this fall, we'll take a look at it, because they're just finishing up.
I actually drove by on my way to WI, I can get some pictures of it next time.
Great, do you have a question?
So, yeah, tying that in with the pickleball, so how,
Two separate projects, so the active recreation is under, we're ideally looking to put that in the Claxton Quarry. Where the Christmas tree drive generally is.
Yep.
So that's where we put the skate park, the Claxton project would be a separate one where we're gonna talk about doing the field and then doing a separate project to do the pickleball courts. Of where that staging area was ideally where Rivoli had their trucks, is what we're thinking
where
of.
in the corner there?
Yes, exactly, yes, in the corner where the new.
So what would that be?
If you want to remind everybody that the first part of this project is a feasibility. study.
Feasibility, okay,
And that is for whoever the vendor is to determine what is the best spot in town for each of those particular. Construction items,
Mhm.
like, is the quarry the best place for the skate park? Is Claxton, where the playground used to be, the best place for pickleball, or they're gonna look at other sites as well. So that is step one. Once that's determined, then we'll go back out to bid for design at those places. The commission will have to decide which one goes first, or if we try and do it together, or whatever it is. So that the commission will decide on the
Mhm.
priority based on a lot of feedback, I'm sure. And we'll probably get some information from the public, I would imagine, in the public meeting. And then, once the design's done, it goes out to construction, so the whole process to get to construction at the quickest is about 3.5, 4 years.
And hopefully, I'm still.
Still going.
Yes.
Yes, so it's not a quick process with everything.
No, I understand.
But,
that.
but
Yep,
So they'll go to that, whatever your first phase, they'll do that.
feasibility.
feasibility, yeah,
Feasibility.
everything's gonna
Yeah,
have
keep
feasibility.
in mind for that, and so we just. Get the bid documents
Yeah,
finished,
trying
put it out to bid, yep.
to understand.
Okay,
So it's a lengthy process.
yes,
I guess nothing, nothing. is-
yeah. Nothing gets done quick.
And then financial aid requests, we are culling together all of our requests for summer, because that is our largest request time. And we do continue to receive requests for school year programs. One of our summer staff members pulled together financial aid policies for all of our neighboring communities. And we're gonna start looking at what other people do. What I have found in the other two communities that I worked in as well, there is a financial aid process for the school year and a separate one for summer. So it's two different. Not necessarily you have to apply twice, but there's two different ways of applying the aid. And then this is just a couple of pictures of our friend Jackson at our family fun nights.
Oh. Where?
Bottom would be aloha and the hula hoops.
Oh, sorry. I scrolled away for a minute. It's very cute. Where did you get all of those, by the way? Cause you had them for all the themes, right?
Yes.
From,
Amazon.
Where do we get the?
Yeah.
names?
no, the head things.
Amazon.
So cute. I loved all.
Not Jackson's outfit, he comes 100% dressed up to every single.
That's really
event.
cute.
He is ready to go.
Wow.
So that was
He's
really
the one
cute.
that
I
makes it on
loved
the
seeing
slide,
that.
isn't he? Oh, okay,
Amazing.
great.
And then on your tables, I left pictures of Perry Park,
I love this.
so you are all aware that the big belly has gone in. Matt will keep an eye on it. Most of the time, we have a company come in and force them on slab, but he didn't wanna wait because of the issues we have over there. He'll keep an eye on it, and then we can always pour the slab and put it back.
Oh, nice.
I was telling Safety, like, the picture on the back literally looks like it should go on the website, like, if you're gonna have a big belly.
It's
this is
so
what you do.
good,
It's
yeah.
great.
It's household trash that they would.
Yeah.
Look at all that stuff. Yeah.
Did you see, this reminds me, there was on the Facebook page, I was mentioning, there was some porta somewhere.
That's been taken out. It used to be at Perry 2 weeks ago, and it has been taken out since our last meeting. I think it was actually being taken out.
No, not Perry, it was somewhere else.
Avery.
Yes, Avery, yeah.
Okay, and why was that?
Why was he got it?
Yeah,
The neighbors.
people complained.
They actually didn't complain, but Avery is not as highly used in the fall as it is in the spring.
Okay, so we put it back in the
We
spring.
will put it back in the spring, so normally it comes out, we put it back.
I used to call the girls softball coach being here a few years ago, being impassioned to have portables down there for the girls when they play. It was very rough.
Yep, absolutely.
Were the porta potties at DeFazio stay there through the winter?
No,
But yeah,
they removed
After, yeah.
after the season ends. And then
Yeah,
we go back
okay.
in March, April.
Good, okay.
You haven't had to tilt any back up?
Was that one?
Oh, just that one time. All right, any other questions in regards to the director's report? Comments? No, okay. Let us go on to the next discussion items. I know we kind of kept this one on here, is that the Exchange Club is still asking Stacy to find the engraver, I guess you want it,
We're
The who?
for the plaque.
We're getting
There's a
some.
plaque that they want.
We're working with a few vendors, so.
So the
we'll keep
Exchange
you
Club
apprised
asked
on that.
Stacy to.
I mean, we will pay some, we don't have much of a budget, but we'd expect that the club would pay. We'll try to push that as much.
Yes.
I think the new president might be able to find some money, see what
Let's
happens.
do it one was in.
It was super disappointing after the going, just wanna talk about trash real quick in the field. After the football game, the amount of trash that the kids, like, it wasn't our student section, it was the other school student section, it was. Not only was there so much trash, but there was at least 24 nips, empty nips. But the guys out there who were cleaning were awesome, he literally, when I was trying to help clean up the trash, he literally wouldn't let me. He was so, I don't know who it was,
Doug.
he was,
Doug.
Awesome.
Yeah, Doug, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
he was so funny, but
Because
he
it's
was,
typically our park staff that are.
Got
yeah. But it was disgusting, I mean, I don't know if there's anything we could do about that, but it was really disappointing.
It is a shame. I mean, listen, I think we can also, every town can be blamed of it, but it's just like, yeah, we have the bring in what you bring out, or bring out what you bring in type of
And
thing,
there's
but.
enough barrels, it's like,
Did they make any announcements during the game at all?
no, it's actually not a bad idea,
Yeah.
maybe
Asking
we
the
can make an
announcements to-
announcement, yeah,
On occasion, you know,
That's not
there's
bad.
breaking the action, please,
yeah.
pick up your trash,
Yeah.
respect our meals, respect our
Yeah.
facilities.
I mean, I did make at least 3 or 4 teenagers, cause I witnessed them just throw some on the ground and make them pick it up. Like.
That's the
I was
commissioner and
on
the
the
parents. meeting.
BFF. That was both,
But that's, I
Yes.
do speak to, I don't know who you wanna,
Oh.
I might know some of those.
Probably the athletic director. so-
Yeah, he has been very helpful when it comes to that, he's been on his coaches about it, I can ask him to be like, hey, can you send a reminder to the opposing teams to also pick up their trash, especially at
Yes.
slow games.
But even an
Um,
announcement, right?
yeah.
There.
or
So,
announcement, that would be good.
Yeah.
You know, it asks especially coaches and.
Yeah.
Isn't the commentator in this River League?
Yeah, it wasn't on
Yes.
Saturday, Friday, it was, who was it? It wasn't him, it was, somebody else.
They had like three, they had two on the TV and one on the.
Yeah, Bill wasn't there, I don't think Bill, he had somewhere to be, but it wasn't him, but yeah, that's a good idea.
But yes, Jenna, we could ask them,
Okay,
or ask Ryan.
Okay, if we could ask you to.
that'd be great.
That'd be great. Thank you.
All right, hey, so we got the Exchange Club Commission policies, nothing updated on this time. Any new updates on the Trail Steward program, Hannah?
The last email that we received was that there's supposedly a meeting poll coming again,
Okay,
so,
Taking a lot of meeting polls.
yeah.
it's poll by poll.
I did get, and I got a voicemail from Deb Anderson. Today about getting this back on track. We give her a call. I picked it up after class once.
Okay, perfect then. We kind of went over the capital projects and the direction report. CPC, Jim, have you had to go to a meeting yet?
First meeting Wednesday.
Oh,
Good luck.
Oh, I never said that.
let us know when you get out Thursday morning how well the meeting went.
Do they still need that?
What?
I never sent my, I never sent, I just haven't sent a quick email that just says I was on.
I don't know, they swore me in anyways.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's it.
Darn.
They still need it.
But they still need it for the records. I
Sure.
think. It just has to be a sentence, I think, I'll
Yep.
just email it.
Simple, simple as simple gets. So, okay, definitely let us know how that goes. Playgrounds and facilities, Horsford Pond lighting
Where's Orsford
by the
Pond?
dump,
Town forest.
of course. Sorry, the RTS.
Next to Claxton.
Oh, all right.
So you
I
have
never
fields,
knew it was smaller.
forward.
Yeah,
Horsford Pond.
okay.
So the reason I'm bringing it up to find out what your priority is on this, the Horsford lighting no longer works.
We used to have lights for,
We used to have
ice-
lights.
for ice skating.
So it is, a conversation that town engineer has been having, we did get some quotes, we found out how much it costs. It is not an insignificant amount, but it's not a capital project. And the funding would be probably following under our budget.
Mhm.
And the question is, do you want to light it? And the reason why we're bringing it to you is, Tom and I had put the conversation on hold because there was no pond for about 13 months because of the drought. And then, you know, it's part of, like, from my point of view, it's an excellent amenity.
Mhm.
You could not ice skate last year more than 3 times.
Right.
And so when I say to be around $20,000 to $30,000 to fix the lighting.
Yeah, it doesn't close at sunset, and you're not supposed to be in there.
We lit it during winter.
If we light it there.
Right, it was so we don't have a timer system and it was
Right.
great. However, since I've been here, there's only one winter where there's
Yeah.
a significant amount of skating.
That's a lot of money, I mean.
But was there any way, sorry not to cut you off, was there any way to, get a head count of how many people, when it was in its prime, that were actually using it? Like, we didn't,
I don't know, the prime was before me,
Sorry.
because the lighting went down.
The lighting's been down for a while.
Yeah, even the year that I was here,
Okay.
the lighting was down 3 or 4 years.
It's been years since we've been able to skate, because the boy skate,
Yeah.
we had a concert in our house, and it's been like at least 4 or 5 years since those have broken apart.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be, I mean, you could argue it if you don't believe in it, but there is global warming, it is getting warmer, so I think it is a lot of money.
Anyway, it's not a conversation, it's not a decision you have to make right now, but it is something that the engineer and I have been talking about, we did get the quote, and it's like, do we, with all the other things coming up, and Claxton being significantly over budget, and we have a lot of other projects in the works, I just think we should take the time to think about, is this an amenity that we wanna continue to have?
Has anybody ever asked about it?
Nobody.
But I'm guessing I haven't because we haven't really had ice, right? So
Yeah.
nobody, if there's no ice or there's no water in the pond,
The last time I
Nobody's even
remember being able to
thinking
skate
about
there was really little.
Yeah.
it was a fun thing when the kids, when my kids were little, but mine are pretty, so. I don't know.
Where else do we have like?
For
Or skating.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that. No,
Yeah.
way.
The resident, no,
I'm kind of 50-50 on it, like, in regards to with the grand scheme of things, what we're trying to do to Claxton. Is we're trying to make it a destination spot, not just for one season, we're trying to make it for multiple seasons, so if we did have an amenity like this. It's almost like a mini DeFazio complex where you have multiple things that could go on between the seasons, but you're right. Why do we put money into something that's not gonna be used? Is it even worth in time when we really want to kind of look into this to maybe, I don't say a doodle poll, but maybe get a question out there to the public to see what they think? Is it, I mean, it's,
Well, I'm sure people would. talk about it.
oh yeah, but I mean, it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we have
Yeah.
questions like,
right, yeah,
Right,
yeah, there's gotta be a
yeah.
certain way to word it, but like, if this was, would it be amenity, would it be used type of thing, or even
Right.
ask of.
well,
Hey,
it
do
wouldn't
people
be,
miss skating
It
at
would
Horsford
be-
Pond?
Right,
it
so,
wouldn't be maintained because we would have to pay people overtime to maintain it, so it
Right,
would
so
be
it's
similar
not
to
gonna be-
like what's out here, like.
Oh, yeah.
Frozen and skatable, or it's.
Oh, yeah, that's,
And
yeah,
you can shovel it yourself.
yeah, we're not gonna do an outdoor hockey rink.
Yes,
It's-
so,
Can't be very large.
It's two, like, there's like two small ones, like, there's a small one that you drive in, and then the bigger one, the back.
It's
One-
not very deep, so it's freezing.
one on the right. Yeah, you could probably put a decent size rink
Yeah.
for a game, and then one on the left would be just passive skating would be.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
it would be nice if the freeze actually, but,
And so we need.
We're not
more-
gonna freeze your
We
unit.
have.
yeah.
You put your units in the pool and not freezing it, and then
Go
it's
around. We'll just even look back.
So maybe it should be on an agenda, item, just
Yeah.
here for us to discuss or. Send our
Yeah, I
thoughts
think so.
to the director, I
Right.
don't know, I mean, it would be a lovely thing to have, I don't
When was the
know.
last time the lights worked there, do we know?
Before I got here.
So,
Yeah, 7 or 8 years ago, I mean, yeah.
Nobody said anything.
Doesn't seem like everybody missed it.
yeah, that's it, so,
Well, a lot of people have backyard rooms, right, we
Which
had
is
one for
awkward, yeah.
many years, but you had to maintain it.
Yeah.
And now people skate at the reservoir and here.
Yeah, and if, I mean,
oh, yeah, true.
daylight skating,
Reservoir does.
Oh, they can
free
skate
for
here?
Yeah.
Oh,
it freezes.
I know it freezes, I didn't know you were, I thought for some reason that you weren't allowed to, I don't know why I thought that.
There's
It's gotta be frozen enough,
Maybe it was it.
okay,
Yeah.
well, that was good, I like that, all right, we went over the Big Belly update. Let's go into action items and approvals, let's go down to the special event request first.
Before we do that,
Sure.
I just wanna bring your attention to the calendar. Hannah and I are working on some updates to like really look at, actually, this needs to be a month ahead of time for you guys to review, and this needs to be here.
Mhm.
So this is a working document. I've made some small adjustments already, but you'll start to see more adjustments as we're like, actually, this is really here, this is really here. And in order for you guys to get the approvals in a timely fashion, it should be here.
Mhm.
So we are working on that, but just so you know, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on to the special event requests.
Mhm.
The Needham Metro West Backyard Ultra,
That has been approved at our last one, that was,
What page are we
that
on?
one's
we're on page 10,
already done that one.
Okay.
Working on-
you just making sure it was done. The financial education for high school students, the Indian community of Needham, this is something that has happened before,
Mhm.
okay? And it's been here, do we have any conflicts?
The color splash has been here, the color. What do they call that? No, this is a new financial education for our students, so they're
Okay.
doing it at Sunita, or they're doing it here now. The rain date is not 2 months ago, it's 10/27, they wrote the wrong date on their application.
We just-
But if it's inside, why would they need a rain date?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
It's-
And also, like, so. If you don't need a janitor, right, if it's not on a weekend,
So,
Yes, custodial
it's
engineer,
free? How do people pay for this if you don't need a janitor?
custodian,
Sorry, custodian, if you don't need a custodian,
you
Do
do,
they have to-
if the building's open, you need to.
Okay,
This particular event, we would also get a building monitor,
right,
which
that's.
the fee would be passed on to them.
Mhm.
The custodian, because it's on Friday night, there is no charge because Christine's already.
She's right here, okay,
But the building monitor, so one of my staff does not have to sit here, will,
Yeah.
that fee will be passed on to.
okay.
Well, I'm confused. So the original date is the 18th?
No.
So the original date is
The
10/27.
The additional date is 10/27. The date they want is October 18th.
Which is a Wednesday.
We're gonna look into this.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
You
yeah.
just prove
It's
it.
a Wednesday
Jeez.
The Wednesday evening, and it's going to be.
But the Wednesday evening, it can't be here because we have a program.
That's what I was gonna
That's-
ask. Is
Easter's a Wednesday.
Yeah, the 18th is a Wednesday.
Maybe we could pass. it.
Have you gotten a lot of increases in requests for this room recently?
This room in Memorial Park,
Yeah,
through the roof to the point where it is its own full-time job.
really?
It is,
It's such a nice building. It's both of these.
Yeah, when
and
they
it's a
had
whole
the,
lot of work for a whole lot of groups that do not.
I was gonna say, so the high school had the coaches meeting here and all the people didn't know this existed and there were lots of bells and light
Yeah.
bulbs going off and I was like, see, it's gonna get.
Yeah, so we need
Yeah.
some fees, we need some fees.
Bring in the revenue.
Okay, so we'll get back to that. No, but I mean, yeah, but whatever they're thinking that they're gonna use it for, yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
they don't have it.
And then if they have to bring in food, they
Well, I
have.
think at the very least,
Yeah.
so
Right.
have a building monitor.
Yeah.
you have that. So
Right.
that's-
It looks like it would be Wednesday since it's a 6 to 8 p.m. So when I understand, I don't think that would be a Saturday request, but I can check.
Okay. We'll double check with them because they can't do a Wednesday here anyway, or at Memorial Park, both of the buildings are, so we'll suggest another date for them, but regardless, they are. Are they requesting that?
Balance signature, well, yeah, like, they don't have that.
Okay. Can we technically punt this one to the next meeting, or do they need to be approved prior?
You can approve with a date to be determined.
I mean,
What we'll do is I would say we'll put this in the discretion of the director and the assistant
Yeah.
director to solidify the dates, the time, the indoor rain dates, things like that. and We'll see what happens.
I actually love that they're doing this, I think it's a great.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And we just want to make sure that their request is something that we can do, and if they have an additional date, we can find a home for
And
this.
do they know if
My-
it thinks it's indoor?
My understanding in my memory that is filing it late. They originally wanted Sunita.
Okay,
They wanted a picnic outside. We're putting
Oh.
almost all of our picnics over at Sunita. So I think that's why there was a rain date, and the time was like 2 to 4 was on Sunday, so.
So it's a picnic, but it's financial education for high school students, I'm having a little trouble with that. I'm
We
thinking,
both-
okay, but what does this organization do that would relate to this program? Because I don't know anything about this organization. I don't know if you do.
Yes, I know quite a bit about it. But they're looking to teach. In this case, high school students, in August, they did. Adults, about finances.
I mean, fabulous idea.
And typically it's people of color or people in their community about finances where, because a lot of, there's a lot of people that stay home and it's really building into the community, so. It was a great program. I talked to the person at length about this particular one, the one we had, a couple weeks ago. I think they have great ideas and great programs, and I think they're trying to expand their offering.
okay. We'll hear a
And
follow
not
up.
charging.
And are they non-profit or does that matter?
They are.
Okay,
They are nonprofit and no, they are.
Okay. Maybe we can get an update on this in the Friday reports.
I will update you. Yes.
Fantastic.
It'll be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I could learn about finances at a.
Yes.
Not paying attention.
All right, next. Family fun event following 5K race from Charles River YMCA. This has happened before, correct? How does Eddie Olson feel about this, of the use of the field with everything else we have with permanent use throughout the fall?
He is generally okay. I will double check with him about this. It's like the week after their soccer tournaments.
Okay.
So it's like instead of kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I will circle back with Eddie just to make sure he's on board.
Do we know
Yeah,
how
this
big
is
this is?
right?
I would say, yeah.
I cannot possibly.
I don't
There's been so
remember.
many 5K.
I think.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
finding.
I think it was the same. place.
Because the 5K rate is permitted through the town hall, town manager's office, and so they're just permitting the field for like after.
Because it's literally right next to the YMCA.
Yeah, I feel like
I know the
yeah,
run happened last year, I don't know if this
Okay,
post party thing happened. So we can do a little more digging on that one too.
okay, we got some time.
That's a
Okay.
Sunday, doesn't conflict with it.
Correct.
All right, is that it for special event requests that we? None that we have an answer on, or one that's already happened. Okay, great. Any new updated policy approvals? Okay. Fee approvals, we talked about this before, and I asked Stacy and Hannah to see if they can help us out on this, but hopefully I can explain this right. In regards to user fees, hypothetically, say we take in $100,000 a year for user fees. And that's what we've been doing for the last, say, how many, every year we've been doing this. With all the new things that we want to do, like have a police detail, have restrooms at all the fields, have other things to do. I asked to say, can we get a ballpark figure of what that cost would be? Are we now taking on an additional $40,000 a year because of all these things? Like, what is it gonna be to see what the cost would be in total? So if you take 100,000 plus the new, if we adjust the user fees by either a dollar figure or a percentage figure of would we be able to cover these two things?
yeah,
And I asked her to give us worst case scenario of what a prime duty cop would cost, you know, in the prime times. If
Yeah.
it was every porta potty was handicap accessible, because I bet you those are more costing than the other ones. Like what it would be like, is it possible to do all these things if we raise it by a dollar figure or a percentage figure?
So it's pretty good. I did not expect.
Okay,
But I will tell you, we'll run the numbers, and get those numbers for you certainly, and either we'll get them in the
Mhm.
Friday update, or we'll get them for the next meeting.
I can
Probably
how much
before the next
police-
meeting, since our next meeting is,
yeah, that's one thing,
so
yeah,
we'll get to that.
we'll get
I
that,
will tell you one thing, just for everybody's peace of mind, because I am who I am, if we only have one porta potty at a site, it is accessible.
okay,
It's only if we have additional ones that we have to set ourselves.
got it, so it's gonna be, okay.
So regardless, at least one will be accessible
Mhm.
at each site.
Okay.
And yes, they are.
So I can just tell you, because we need to be still have to pay for the detail for 5 hours on a Saturday for 2 police officers was $400.
Okay,
So I obviously missed the last meeting, I was only here for a few minutes, so I'm not sure if you can talk about it, but I did want to say, I definitely think that a police detail is something we should really look into for the busier days.
yeah,
just
not an
in
everyday
general.
thing, but like, you know, on
Like a
the,
Saturday,
yeah.
Sunday, not just fall, spring, because there's just a lot of programs and we're not gonna magically have a new, flow of traffic, there's no room, the trucks aren't gonna be moved, there's nowhere to put them, so like. I just think it's something that we really should talk about, maybe require that it's done and split by all the user groups or. Work into the new fees, but I definitely think it's necessary.
And what day, Saturday,
Saturday
What
and
about
Sundays,
weekends?
I would say fall and spring, right?
Sundays also, we also need.
Well, Sunday is actually not. When I'm there, I don't know, Travis there Sundays too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know in the spring, Saturdays is a hot mess.
Mhm.
And
The
what
weeknights
about?
are sometimes a hot mess.
Hot week, and the weeknights, Tuesday and Thursday nights are.
I think you can make an argument that we need it Monday to Friday and evenings, especially at that 6 o'clock turnover.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then on the weekend,
Saturday.
Saturday
like
anyway.
if we had
yeah,
a cop on retainer and all the money in the world,
yeah,
I would probably do one all.
yeah, I agree.
But I don't think that's feasible, and it's also not feasible to guarantee, I
Right.
can't even guarantee that we get,
To get some,
that the cops will have enough.
right,
time or people to do the detail, especially, I don't know, just, there's some construction in town. Just a little bit of
Very hard to
construction.
get
The
anywhere.
details.
Right.
it's just like people just, no matter what, you can put all the science in the world, you can put all the barriers and the big plastic things, they just. I cannot tell you, every single day when I'm there, for whatever reason, people are going in the wrong way, they're in a rush,
Every single day.
Every day.
Every single day I see at least one person go in the app. I mean, like, they're pulling in from Dedham and they're being lazy instead of going around and then they're coming this way, coming in, like,
I've seen it like at 9 o'clock in the morning where they're like, oh, there's nobody else here, doesn't matter.
yes,
It
and it
does.
just can't, like, okay, there's nobody else there, but A, it's not allowed, and you never know when a kid's gonna go darting out in front, it's just. It's infuriating,
Put a spike strip up, we do that.
So you're recommending perhaps 2 nights a week and Saturday.
Mine, just what I see as a person, not a lead, just as a human person. The turnaround times, the 6 o'clock time I'm not there Monday, Wednesdays, only there Tuesday, Thursdays is rough, and Saturdays are
I
rough.
can't imagine it would be any different with the
So the same
amount
every
of,
night.
I would
Yeah.
imagine, as the high
Yeah.
school teams, especially if they're hosting games, as all of those people vacate and then all the
Yeah.
youth groups come in. It's just a lot of
Mhm.
crazy.
And it would be a lot faster too, you wouldn't have that so much bottlenecking on Dedham, I mean, Dedham was backed up, I heard, to the center of town, like.
Oh, at certain points I had that.
Yeah. So I definitely think it's something,
So that's
for me,
something
I'm looking
we should
at as
ask the
safety,
groups,
Mhm.
ask the groups to chip in.
I think we should require the groups to chip in, like, how,
Oh,
whatever
yes.
groups are there, pay a percentage. I would, if you feel like we have no problem paying a percentage, it's for safety.
Well, I think when we make, or, I mean, I think we kind of already made this pitch to the user groups that we're gonna raise it, and it's not like we just wanna have the extra money, it's because we've heard grassy down cost trickle. If we're gonna have these things and these amenities at the fields. Money doesn't grow on trees, that the user groups that use it, everyone's gonna have to take a bite out of it.
Just split it down, like,
So you pay based on the fields you've been permitted.
I would say that's percentage of use,
yes,
we would have to go off of if we were gonna require
like, see who's there, what groups are there, and then go off a percentage of
You just
use.
bonus permits, but you get permitted in the city fields.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a big chunk of money, I
it.
mean.
Yeah, but say like on Saturday, you could have 16 tracks, field hockey, soccer and baseball all there, so it would be a percentage of their
Right.
usage to cover the detail for that day.
I mean, we're also looking at it as, I look at it as what we take now, what, $15 in for user groups per kid, where 10 of per youth goes. 10 of it goes into the general fund and 5 into the revolving, or did I get that backwards? That, I don't think $15 a kid is, or like. Youth, is that bad?
No,
To go up to 20, I mean, I don't think that's outlandish, but. to
no,
get some of
especially
these
since they haven't gone.
Extras, right, it hasn't gone up in X
Right.
amount of years.
Yeah.
We have premier fields, they're beautiful, they're open as much as they can. You know, we're doing everything we can for the youth groups that, everyone's gonna have to pay for it. And
I mean, if the cost of living goes up every year, forget the cost of everything since the pandemic's been over, like. Not having raised the fees for a long time, I just think it's it has to be done, and I think. I think 20 is reasonable.
User groups have raised the fees because uniforms don't cost what they used to.
No.
So, I mean, if they're
Right.
raising their fees to cover their costs.
You do the rest.
We now
right?
have
Sure,
to do the
rest.
same exact thing,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we said it at the field summit at the beginning of the year, that, prices are going up. It's just, we have to determine okay, what have we taken in? If we increase by this much, how much more will we get? And we'll cover all of these extra things that we wanna do. So, I mean, if we can get an average of. I mean, COVID just stopped, the last 3 years? I would say the numbers are pretty much the same. Hopefully, they're ticking up in the right direction. So just to kind of average up, like, this is what we've taken in over the last 3 years. And this is what it would cost of all these extra things we want to do. If we raise it by X, will we be able to cover it and then some?
And then I also think to not continue to add to Stacy's plate is that you have some sort of like subcommittee. Reps from each group or whatever who are in charge of scheduling. The officers. Because to put that, all of that then on Park and Rec.
I agree. But I would feel more comfortable if we knew somebody that was taking care of it compared to if you do leave it up to this group and they, all of a sudden they say, oh, I forgot to do it this week.
Right,
I think if,
I think the town, I think the police would appreciate that too, one voice.
I
one
think,
contact person.
but I think if some group, sports council, whatever, came up with. This is what we need, this is what we needed, this is how we're gonna charge it, this is how we're gonna split it, and then the department said. Dear police, we would like these number of officers on their station this time.
Yes.
But have the grunt work done by some other group.
I agree.
We remove the headache, but I
Yes.
agree with Chris having the point go through our department makes the most sense.
Yes, but so that you alleviate some of the heavy lifting done prior to it being
Well, and
given
so
to
it's
you.
coming through, so we know it's being requested, and therefore we know.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it has to happen. I think I've seen too many near accidents with the kids.
I know, and I don't ever want to hear of an accident there.
Yeah,
So, I mean, no matter what we do, I mean, it's anything to help the safety of not only the kids, the parents, the coaches, everybody there.
yeah,
So,
I was there a bunch of times, you probably.
Yeah.
Definitely are. But didn't do much. Like, what are we?
The officers.
Yeah, they sit in their car,
so I have
they're not shepherding traffic, so I just think we need to be like.
very specific, so yes,
Or just go in as wide open of what they're going to do and what problem
we
are
can
they
expect
solving? Because, and how complicit are we with the rules of the parking lot? I have been received as a recipient of like kids using the facilities of like, you cannot get out of your car, like, this is not a drive.
I've
This is
said,
like
we need
every
to send
single
those
like.
out, yes,
I can tell there's
100%.
definitely groups that are not sending out
Yes.
every
So
day.
you send out.
Oh, I
you
sent
send out
out
standard
insurance,
instructions, and you don't have that necessarily from your.
From other, like, my kids are in a bunch of
yeah.
programs that use.
So that would be for.
and not one of those groups is that.
I can share the template that I use, very attached, size and if anybody
Okay.
wants, I.
Will you send
do,
it, but I can
yeah.
also send it to the user groups and say, as a reminder. the
Yeah.
And it's like every
weeks
day, for
Every-
first 2 weeks of practice, this is what you have to be sending.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't be, the drive line doesn't work. No
Nope.
more drive line. You
Yeah,
have to park in your car, like, there's gotta be some changes in the behavior, because the drive line is what's causing.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
the
I would
center
agree.
of traffic, because people are taking forever, so.
or making their own.
but it's
traffic.
also what's making people really impatient and like. It's just getting worse and worse each season, like just the impatience and the just.
And it's different, like, the
Yeah.
drive line at a school, it works because they have a dozen teachers that are out there. We don't have a dozen
Right, we have
people
lines parking.
Yeah.
You can cone off certain.
I will say
We
when
don't
I
have
was
buses
were
parking.
there though, so I had 3 separate Saturdays, I had details. One particular group of police officers were useless, but the other 2, when I was super specific about, and I don't know if they were police officers, I think they were like traffic people retired. When I was very specific, like with Joe, like this is what the rules are, this is what they can and can't do, and when they did it, the drive line was fine, but it has to be facilitated
Mhm.
somehow.
Yes, right, that's what I think, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it is,
yeah,
Because I think some facilitate, some don't, and if they're not facilitating.
yeah, it wasn't
They're
police officer
deterrent,
that
but
day, those
you're,
2.
yeah, you're only deterring behavior that people know. They know what you should be doing, I think there's.
They know that it's
like,
they ignore it.
Yeah.
So we've identified some issues that the people driving, the families aren't being told in all cases how they need to.
Yeah, or they're
Drive
trying to start to, but yeah.
And I do have people that I have are doing, you feel like in other programs, and I'm not pointing fingers, but. I do know from talking to them, some of the other programs don't send that kind of
Mhm.
stuff out, so I will send you the template I sent, Stacey,
Sounds
so
great.
you can see. I just think it's so important, it's like, it's safety, I don't, traffic, whatever, it's fine, but it's like, it just Rest.
It has to be safe. It has to be
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah,
Cannot have it not safe.
As safe as we can make. it.
yeah,
Okay, so speaking of that, we're gonna kind of combine things for fee approvals, but also into the next meetings here. That next meeting is scheduled for Monday, September 25th, but that is Yom Kippur, so we want to respect that. So we definitely not gonna meet that night,
No.
correct? Does Tuesday the 26th work? I know Tuesdays are tough for you, though.
I can just, you guys can get started, I can be here by 7:30.
Okay. Does the 26th work, excuse me?
So
I can do 26.
Okay,
I could be here by at
Well-
7. I can't be here any earlier, but I could be here by.
I could be here by 7:30.
okay,
Available.
available,
Okay.
available.
I have a meeting at 5. It's usually a 2-hour meeting.
Would,
So 7:15.
would it work to possibly do it via Zoom, so people don't have to rush to get to certain areas and they can call in from where they are? Would that help?
We can't go for Zoom.
So I'll be here
I should be here
with
at
Hannah,
7.
Hannah and I will be here, is that okay? Yeah, right.
But can we start at like 7:30 though? Or can I be late? Is that
Would-
okay?
Would that work? A 7:30 start?
Okay,
Okay, let's do, all right, we'll do this. Let's do the 26th. We will start at 7:30. We will make it a light agenda. And we will just go majority into the fee structure. For that meeting, we will go over some brief topics that will probably come in if anything does pop up. But the majority of the meeting will be for the fees for 2024. And we'll meet at 7:30. We'll, I don't say make it as quick as a meeting as possible, but starting a half an hour later, we will not delay. Okay, here.
This doesn't help Dina, but I actually don't have my kids that night, it got swapped, so we could start at 7 if you wanna show up late, and then we could do any.
Oh, you go through, yeah,
And I might be.
I'd rather have you here for the fee approvals than like kind of the other stuff.
oh yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
that-
I can take that.
That's the most that would be like,
Yeah,
the meeting at 5, that usually goes till 7.
Okay, well, we have, so we can do that, we can start the normal stuff with the three of us, and then
Yeah.
if we need to.
And if I can get out earlier, I will.
All right, well, then let's do that, all right, so let's do 7 o'clock here,
Yeah,
keep the agenda light. We will push the fees to the last possible subject that we have, and just have as, most, quick as a meeting as we can. Sound good?
yes,
All right, speaking of meetings, I know we're kind of jumping around here. The following meeting is Monday, October 9th, which is Indigenous Peoples' Day. That is a town holiday, federal holiday. Okay, federal holiday, so we will not meet that night either.
Hannah and I are both at the National Park and Rec Conference all week,
On the 9th,
10 through
the 9th through the
12th.
12th.
The 9th.
9th through the 12th, okay. So looking at it, we could then meet on the 23rd, but just be prepared that that will be the only meeting of the month. So it might be a little bit lengthy because we are gonna miss the 9th.
yeah,
Everyone good with that?
yeah.
Okay. November 13th,
Uh,
I mean,
So far,
I know, yes,
Don't pass your good.
so far so good, fantastic, so, all right. We get all that down? All right, let us go back to the action items that we need to do, we need to approve the minutes of the meeting.
Just a really quick question,
Of course you can,
just when are we targeting to announce the fee approvals?
I would say,
We told them that we would announce no later than January.
Okay,
Did we
But-
remind, did you tell them that recently? It's like a reminder would be good, because you know.
but didn't we?
When Stacy mentioned earlier about like yearly calendar,
Mhm.
that is when those kinds of things or fees or updates will be amended to that.
We also not ask that we could send out a quick poll to the user groups for. That open up the registration in the fall. For the spring sports, that we can find out when they plan on opening up the registrations, so we can at least give them the courtesy to say, hey.
yeah, that's gonna be soon.
I would factor in, you're gonna take a price increase, because these are the things we're gonna go.
Yeah,
through,
like
and we can-
October, yeah,
It's a little reminder out about field fees and you can pull together a quick Google form for the.
And just, I mean, I would say it's everybody that
Yeah.
does for spring, but yeah, anyone that opens up their spring registration in the
it's
fall.
usually like,
Well, I'll probably just send it to all user groups and
Yeah.
say, do you have a spring registration plan? Do
Right.
you have a fall registration? When do you
Perfect.
have a summer registration?
Mhm.
Yeah,
So that we
Exactly.
can we'll have that information at our hands.
Okay,
and be super transparent
Yeah.
about that
feel
one.
like it's going up,
Yeah,
you know, if you, and. It's what's gonna be. Okay. Going back to, we're gonna go approve the minutes of the meeting of August 28th. We had a full quorum then, and have a full quorum now, so any,
oh, that was on.
yeah, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Tina's got her. So minutes of the meeting of August 28th. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for the minutes of the meeting of August 28th.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Park and Rec meeting of August 28th, 2023.
All right, I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have seconds. All right. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, do I have to do a roll call vote? Nope. All those in favor of approving the minutes of the 28th, say aye. Aye. Abstain.
One,
There you go. Passes unanimously. All right, going back up to the agenda, we went over the new meeting dates. Any topics for future meetings? Cindy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's maybe more of a question for our staff. When will we get, the information on, the financial information for pools and programs from this summer? I'm looking back at the calendar and seeing it there. So when can we expect that in October?
So I asked them to, get it in as soon as they could, but certainly by the end of September, so that we can present it to you in October.
So at that October meeting.
October 23rd meeting there, yes, if not sooner. I know Chris has both sides, pool and camp, have their supervisors write up their own part of it. And then Chris and Hannah sort of call together to present you one big report, so.
Okay, and I would ask, in the past, Devin has had some wonderful suggestions, he often has suggestions that we can't afford to do, but it's great to think, great for us to think about and to see how we can perhaps get them on the calendar for the future. So, if you can include, as much as, I don't know who does it on the program side, but certainly you know on the school side, okay. It would be great to have those suggestions, just for us to even be thinking about the future.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to bring up, and I don't think it has been an issue, but I know you brought it up earlier, that there is a lot of construction going on in town. And where they usually park their vehicles during the day is down at Tavasio. That is majority just during the day, or are they leaving the equipment there on the weekends? Like, I remember there was like in the springtime, there were like big trucks. So can we communicate with the DPW, or at least they can tell us to say, hey, we're gonna be doing this, and the trucks are gonna be there for 2 weeks. So we can at least let the user groups know, type of thing, that like, it's gonna be limited parking, because I remember that was an issue in the spring. When they were doing paving or manhole work or whatever it was,
Mhm.
that it was just, they were taking up a good row of parking that we need.
You can talk to DPW about that, there's actually.
That would be great.
there's gotta be, there's like the office part, I mean, it's not super convenient, but like, it's just, yeah.
It's, yeah, and I know it's close to work with doing, but it's just like you're taking away
Yeah.
something that we're busting up the gills anyways here, you know, can't take away more, so.
Yeah,
We can communicate that, that would be great.
and I have a topic suggestion for future.
Sure.
Meeting, I think we should maybe talk about the next field summit, and what that looks like, and like what things we're gonna discuss and talk about, and maybe
Sure.
kind of change it up from years past, because I think there could be some improvements, and that's. No, I'm just saying,
Jeez.
I want some ideas that I could share with Stacy on my own, if for some topics and like things that we could add to that night. But I
Do
do,
I would ask that you share that with the commissioners, and we don't have to respond back to you. Because you-
say that again.
If you could share those thoughts with the
Oh, yeah,
commissioners.
I can share with you too.
Yeah, that would be,
Yeah.
you know, a written outline. Or
I just didn't know if I was allowed to share. with the commission
You
outside
can,
of-
you can't discuss
You're-
in an open meeting, but
You're
can
allowed to
certainly
share the documentation, you can't have a conversation about it back and forth.
One way.
Send it to us, please.
So I'll send it to the commission too. Yeah, perfect.
I just, or I mean, you can send it through Stacy, but you could just send it to us directly, including her.
Yeah,
opinion.
And just a recognition of appreciation for your response to a situation and
Nobody
I-
picks on my fellow commissioners and gets away with it.
I echo that.
Thank
Chair,
you.
Chair.
Yes, and
I
I
included, so I don't know.
oh yeah, she wasn't on the original email, so I shared it.
Nope.
I'll bet you Jim wasn't on either.
Which,
What we will do, we will talk about this actually at a different time.
Yes,
But thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes.
We will-
The thing that did come to life from that is the town's website with the commission members listed needs to be updated.
Yes,
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
that's why Jim wasn't included in.
that's exactly.
That's
why.
why
So
it
we-
would be.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
No,
And I just think it's important, like, we all, you know, have our differences, I just wanna say thank you on behalf of just, you know, for me, for Stacy, and
we're all a team.
we're all, we can talk about how great we could do something when we're not doing it, and don't really realize how hard people's jobs are.
Mhm.
I'm done being quiet about it, so, thank you.
Here for you, here for
Thank
everybody. All right, anything else in regards to Park and Rec tonight?
I've been thinking about forming like a group to, you were talking about rules for like tennis and pickleball and. That we form some sort of committee of like. I don't know, 2 pickleball players, 2 tennis players, and somebody who plays both, or something like that to. To try to come to consensus of,
It's almost like, gosh, I work this way, we talk about having a field summer where we have user groups that have same requests. To maybe have the pickleball and the tennis communities kind of come together and be like, all right, how can we all make this, work this out? We want this space, you want this space, let's talk about how we can all use the space.
and then just how in general, how.
Yep.
Everybody just does their own thing, tennis does their own thing,
Right.
pickleball does their own thing, even within each group,
Mhm.
there's really no consensus right now.
I think that is a worthy ask. So. We definitely look into this. Like the idea. All right, anything else? All right, hearing none, I will motion or entertain a motion for adjourning of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
First, second. All right, we have a motion to second. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
I.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.